All right, a grand coalition in the making. That's a big headline in the front page of the Standard. And the Standard does something here. Ameandika one term. Hapo in red. Yeah, on the front page, on the explainer, wameanza one term. A meeting convened by former President Uhuru Kenyatta and held at Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka's SKM Command Center yesterday bore the hallmarks of a grand opposition coalition taking shape ahead of next year's general election. After admitting 3 new parties into the Azimio la Umoja coalition and opening its doors to more like-minded outfits, the Uhuru-led coalition has stepped up efforts to broaden its national support. With Edwin Sifuna's Linda Mwananchi and Rigathi Gachagua's DCP among those being quoted. The drive to field a united front and make President William Ruto a one-term leader is gathering momentum, evoking memories of the NARC wave that swept to power in 2002. This has been covered on pages 6 and 7. And they have now a layout of some of the leaders involved in this. On the front page, of course, Uhuru Kenyatta, the leader of the Azimio coalition. There at the center. I don't know. You know, after the 2022 elections, there was a huge exodus led by Martha Karua. Back then, chama yake ilikuwa inaitwa something else. They moved out of Azimio. Now she formed PLP. Now she's still being seen as a part of the Azimio architecture. Kalonzo Musyoka, of course, who had been made leader of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition, there with his party WPF. Rigathi Gachagua and DCP are yet to make a statement on this. Yeah. Charity Ngilu with the SDP. Fred Matiang'i with Jubilee. Of course, Fred Matiang'i is the deputy party leader, Jubilee. His party leader is Uhuru Kenyatta, so definitely he has to go that way. DAP-K has also expressed intention to join. Linda Mwananchi is still silent on this. So grand coalition in the making. Are we reading too much too early? And is this the involvement that they've kept saying that Uhuru Kenyatta is behind this? Uhuru Kenyatta is behind this. Finally, Uhuru Kenyatta and his Azimio la Umoja coalition show up. I remember, and it's interesting that today one of our panelists will be the Embakasi North MP James Gakuya. When there were attempts to revive Azimio la Umoja, he dismissed this totally. And he said that is something they would never be part of as DCP. To him, even if discussions are going on, he is not a part of it and he does not support this. It will be interesting to find out what his opinion would be on this grand scheme. So that's the main story, political story on the front page. Of course, the other big story is the arrest of John Kagushia, which features on page 4. Kagushia arrest stars a fresh war on political speech and selective justice. That's the argument. Many people say, okay, fine, even if Kagushia is on the wrong and he has been arrested, why don't you arrest all these others who've made comments similar or at least deemed insightful? Yeah. There was one cabinet secretary who said he cannot even appear before NCIC, before others appear. So if this one is being arrested, can he be arrested also? Is that what they're saying? So selective justice is one of the big discussion points when it comes to the arrest of John Kagushia. He spent the night, Monday night or Sunday night at a media station. Then the second night now he spends at a police cell. Maisha yake imekuwa ngumu. Just be careful about what you say out there. Just be careful. Yeah, you don't need. I saw another elder from a different community.
Yeah. That one too.
Telling people that they, from that region, that they will be cast if they don't follow a certain political dispensation. Yeah. And I'm wondering, okay, so what happens to my independent conscience? When do I get to think for myself? If it is politicians or elders who are going to tell me this is how you're going to do it, and if you don't, there'll be consequences. So questions are many. I remember our editorial comment yesterday was about that. Are we just here to be told how to do it, how to vote, where to go, which way to face, how to think? Really? This is 2026. Will you tell the Gen Z how to think? You know, even in your house as a parent, I'm a parent to a Gen Z. Actually, too. You can't tell them how to think. You can't tell them anything. So elders saying they're going to curse you, or politicians telling you they're going to do something to you. Will you listen to them? So in as far as politics is concerned, those are the main stories. Azimio and Kagushia. Other stories, Uhuru move as opposition seeks to deliver another 2002 moment. That's the spread on 6 and 7. The politics that's on the front page. The story I've seen here. Land feud, chain of events leading to Mutiso's death. This is a killing. A bitter land dispute, alleged death threats, and earlier attempted shooting, and the alleged movement of the slain psychologist's vehicle have emerged as key lines of inquiry in the investigation into Dr. Victoria Ndhunya Mutiso's murder, as detectives probe what they believe was a planned killing. A mother and son were arraigned yesterday, and they're there pictured lawyer Chris Mulwa and his mother Rose Mbithen Detey in court after their arrest in psychologist Dr. Victoria Mutiso's murder probe. So that's a story that many Kenyans are following closely, away from the politics. Other stories that are being discussed, I've seen matters health. 5.3 billion shillings worth of medicines were wasted in 5 years. This is according to a study by the Ministry of Health. Yeah, including COVID medication. And then, second largest Ebola outbreak, nears 4,000 cases. So far, tumeambiwa Kenya hakuna any case. Uganda has been declared Ebola free, but the DRC, the outbreak in Budibugyo, Ebola outbreak is edging towards another grim milestone, with confirmed infections now fewer than 300 cases away from reaching 4,000. Yeah, ikipita 4,000, it will be a record. Right. Those are the main stories on the front pages. Vision 2030. Now this is the discussion around vision and going forward, Vision 2060. So the Standard on page 10 has talked about Vision 2030. Can Kenya build a new blueprint on an old unfinished one? That's the main question that, okay, we still have questions about Vision 2030. So why are we thinking about a new vision? Yet we've not even achieved what we envisioned for ourselves. How many years ago? Quite a number of years ago, almost 19, 20 years ago. Why Vision 2030 missed Kenya's 10% growth goal is also another story on page 11. So a lot of discussions around that proposal. Not really proposal. It's actually a pronouncement by the president that we're going to have a national conversation leading to a new vision. On the back page, Matter Sports. It's down to prayers as under-20 event comes calling in the USA. Now, remember, we're done with the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. We're also done with WAFCON. Yesterday, the Starlets lost 2-0 to Algeria, meaning we've lost all our games played. We lost 4-0 to Morocco. We lost 1-0 to Senegal. Now we lost 2-0 to Algeria, meaning that the Starlets have lost all the games at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. So they're coming back home. Probably we look into the future. Now Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland also came to an end. Kenya got a medal haul of about 12 medals. We now look forward to the next tournament. So now it is down to prayers as under-20 event comes calling in the US. This is the world's leading teenage distance runners racing for medals across 8 disciplines at the World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Oregon. So that's the next focus for our sportsmen and women. All right. That's the Standard this morning.
Tuangalie gazeti la Taifa Leo. Azimio yalenga Gachagua. Hiyo ndio habari kuu katika ukurasa wa mbele wa gazeti hili. Anasema kwamba muungano wa Azimio la Umoja wa Kenya umeanza mchakato wa kujijenga upya kuelekea uchaguzi mkuu wa mwaka 2027 kwa kuvikaribisha vyama vipya na kuanzisha mazungumzo na makundi ya kisiasa yanayoongozwa na aliyekuwa naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua na seneta wa Nairobi Edwin Sifuna. Wakiongozwa kwa njia ya mtandao na rais mstaafu Uhuru Kenyatta, viongozi hao walikubaliana kufanyia muungano huo mabadiliko makubwa. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa pili, kwamba viongozi wa muungano huo walisema watazungumza na chama cha DCP na vuguvugu la Linda Mwananchi. Vidokezo zaidi ni habari nyingine hapa ya Music Festival, tamasha ya muziki ambayo imeingia siku ya pili katika chuo kikuu cha Kibabii. Bima ya afya kwa watalii yapingwa mahakamani, wadau wasema hitaji hilo litafungia wageni wengi nje. Habari hii iko katika ukurasa wa pili wa gazeti hili. Right, wanasema kwamba serikali sasa inakabiliwa na kesi mahakamani kupinga agizo jipya linalowataka wageni wote wanaoingia Kenya kuwa na bima ya afya ya usafiri. Habari hiyo ya Kagushia imezungumziwa katika ukurasa wa 4. Kagushia atetewa na upinzani. Mbunge huyo Mukurweini alikamatwa jana kufuatia matamshi yake tata. Tuju azidiwa na masaibu. Mnada mara ya pili kutekelezwa mwezi huu ukilenga kuuza jumba lake la kifahari Karen. Na kule juu zaidi on the top strip, chuma cha Infantino kimotoni, pressure mashirikisho ya soko ya Ulaya yakitaka rais huyo wa FIFA ajiuzulu. Na on the back page wamezungumzia WAFCON, hesabu ngumu za Tanzania kufuzu robo finali. So Tanzania bado wako WAFCON. Right, that's Taifa Leo.
Right. Tukiangazia masuala ya siasa ambayo yamepewa kipaumbele kwenye magazeti ya leo, twende moja kwa moja hadi gazeti la People Daily. The People Daily talks about 10 counties that will decide Kenya's next president. That's the big headline on the front page. They are Nairobi, which has 2.7 million, Kiambu, which has 2.4 million voters. Nakuru comes third with 1.9 million. Meru, almost 1 million. So is Kakamega. Then counties like Machakos, 700,000. So is Bungoma. Then we go to Kisii, 700,000 as well. Mombasa, 700,000. And Moranga, 600,000. These are the counties that, according to the People Daily, will decide the next president. If you go into the inside pages of the People Daily today, they talk about these being battlegrounds. Observers identify about 10 counties as a key electoral battlegrounds because of their large voter population. These numbers were given by the IEBC. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission projects continued growth in voter numbers across these strategic regions. Western Kenya's 5 counties of Kakamega, Bungoma, Busia, Trans Nzoia and Vihiga are projected to have about 3.36 million registered voters by next year. Luo Nyanza's 4 counties, Kisumu, Siaya, Homa Bay and Migori, are expected to account for about 2.78 million voters, while the broader Mount Kenya region, comprising 10 counties, is projected to register about 7.4 million. I've seen this debate online about who has the numbers where. But according to the IEBC, these are the projections. They say that President William Ruto is expected to retain strong support across much of the Rift Valley and parts of Luo Nyanza. So 10 counties there. There's another story there that I'm sure we will be talking about, and this has to do with the arrests and the continued existence of hate speech. It's also on page 5 of the People Daily. Bodies unveil multi-agency crackdown on hate speech. A coalition of constitutional commissions, security agencies and electoral regulators has unveiled a new multi-agency framework to crack down on hate speech, ethnic incitement and political intimidation ahead of the 2027 general election. Wako wengi tu hapo: NCIC, Register of Political Parties, National Police Service, DCI, IEBC. Do you think that there will be of any consequence? What we've seen so far? Many people have been summoned to appear before the NCIC. They haven't. Wanasema skuji kama ule mwingine haji. They've arrested one. So far, at least, is still in custody. That's a Mukurweini MP, John Kagushia. But beyond that, have you seen any action? Do you believe that IEBC coming together with NCIC, DCI will do anything? And as far as hate speech and ethnic incitement before next year?
Well, let's hope that it will do something. Let's hope.
For those who are optimistic. Yeah, hope is a good thing. That's the People Daily today.
All right, tuangalie Daily Nation. They make mention of Uhuru's Azimio reaching out to Gachagua and Sifuna camps, but that is not the main story in the front page. They talk about SHA mystery firm paying 1.2 billion or paid 1.2 billion shillings. The dispute, the uproar by hospitals over a 2% deduction from their total claims paid by SHA is now the subject of a court case, with petitioners seeking orders to halt the controversial charges by a private firm. Documents filed in court by 3 petitioners who have named Health Cabinet Secretary Edwin Duale among the respondents by virtue of his office state that FinSprint Limited had received 1.2 billion shillings by July 1st, 2026. Official records show the firm, incorporated on July 12, 2020, has 2 directors and another company whose address is not provided as its controlling shareholder. And this story is on page 4 and 5. Petitioners say the government has ignored queries on the deductions. SHA mystery firm paid 1.2 billion shillings. That's the main story on the front page of the Daily Nation. On the inside pages, they make mention of music festival, societal issues, main theme at music festival. PS here says learners continue to demonstrate relevance of creative arts in tackling contemporary issues. Crisis persists as unions demand devolved units be stripped of health function. Health workers are still on strike. And that story is on page 2. The chairperson, Kuko, says here that the government already set aside the money for UHC workers. Up to this day, they have no idea why counties have refused to do what they're supposed to do. That is a story on page 3. New retirement policy will spark mass lecturer layoffs. US warns that some professors who will be affected have specialized knowledge that can't easily be replaced. From TV studio to police cell, Kagushia's long night. Yeah, leaders and lawyers call for health CS Duale's arrest, and that story is on page 7. NCAC forms teams to fight intolerance as elections approach. That's also another story on page 7. On the back page, toughest tests yet for Gor in quest for regional clubs title. Sekafa Club Championships, home team Rayon face South Sudan side in semis. And the Kenya champions play favourites Al Hilal from Sudan in the first semi-final from 4 p.m. today. That's the Daily Nation.
Right. For the Daily Nation, let's focus on the Standard. Today being a Tuesday, the Star newspaper, the fresh independent paper being a Tuesday, it is not for sale. It has this big headline about Kenya leading Africa in milk yield as meat exports rise by 87%. Egypt has been relegated to second place. Dairy exports have almost tripled. So that's the story on pages 4 and 5. The spread, they say Kenya now leads Africa in milk production. As meat exports rise to 87%, dairy exports have risen sharply from 5 billion to 14.2 billion. That's almost triple. While the value of formerly marketed milk has continued to grow. Hey, okay, this is a positive story. On the front page, you can read on pages 4 and 5 of this paper. There's an exclusive story about a chief anti-HIV campaigner who's seeing a clear path to vaccine and Kenya's role is in it. So those who are interested in a vaccine for HIV, its story is on page 2. Top HIV expert sees path to vaccine. Yeah, he says he's now optimistic about potential vaccine than ever before. This is IAVI President and CEO Dr. Mark Feinberg. You can read more on that on page 2. All right, pale kwingine, threat to unity, Sifuna's political rise to upset opposition pecking order as polls draw clear. This is something we've been discussing. It's a theme that has remained relevant for the past 2 weeks with the continued rise of prominence of Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna. All right, back page of this paper, Manoa's big gamble, new coach. This is local football, Homeboys, Kakamega Homeboys. Manoa's big gamble. New coach sounds title warning as revamped Kakamega Homeboys chase glory. It's about local football league. Interesting. Teams are preparing for the resumption of football leagues globally, and Kenya too is not being left behind. So yes, this paper comes with a MyGov pullout for government jobs and tenders. Grab yourself a copy for free. Fresh, independent, different, The Star.
Yeah. Business Daily, Nairobi Security Exchange rises above 4 trillion shillings milestone for first time. And Business Daily have maintained this headline. We talked about it yesterday as well, that investor wealth at NEC has crossed 4 trillion shillings for the first time in the wake of a sustained rally in blue chip share prices and the recent entry of KPC, that is the Kenya Pipeline Company and Family Bank. And this story is on page 2. Airtel and Safaricom locked in business wallet price war. That Airtel yesterday launched a product to rival Safaricom's Pochi la Biashara, triggering a price war that has cut the cost of customer transfers to micro business wallets to zero. That's also captured on page 2 of the Business Daily. On the ticker, Banks see CBK rate holding amid Middle East uncertainty. They say commercial banks expect the CBK to keep its benchmark rate unchanged at 8.75% at its policy meeting next week amid ongoing uncertainty in the Middle East. And Tuju's second current property set for auction. That's also captured on page 6 of the Business Daily. And that's the Business Daily this morning.
Right. Let's cross over to regional papers, and we start off in Uganda because the Daily Monitor is now back, so it's much easier to find papers from there. And on the Daily Monitor today, the main story is on how justice caught up with Magara killers. The 84-page judgment delivered yesterday, Justice Alex Ajiji found 9 individuals guilty of kidnapping businesswoman Susan Magara with intent to obtain a hefty ransom before murdering her in cold blood. The story is on page 4. So they were found guilty of this. New Vision, who are wanachelewa, but I can manage to get a glimpse of what they have on the front page. And they're quoting President Yoweri Museveni. Museveni warns rogues in security. He says torture is not part of the NRM ideology. That's on the front page of the New Vision. Yeah, we don't have an e-copy for you though. If we move to the south of Kenya and go to Tanzania, tuangazie gazeti la The Citizen. So on the front page of The Citizen, they talk about $1 trillion dream gets 24 pledges. Government and private sector have agreed on 24 measures to boost investment, accelerate Vision 2050, there's its 2050 implementation, create jobs, expand industries, and support Tanzania's ambition of achieving a $1 trillion economy by 2050. That's their vision. Yeah. Then they've discussed it and they're clear about it. Vision 2050. Yeah. Probably giving us impetus to discuss our Vision 2060 as well. Africa on alert as strongest El Nino since 1950 looms. That's the thing that, interestingly, on our dailies, we are not seeing any stories on El Nino, despite the fact that the weatherman has already warned that do expect El Nino, and this time it will come with very heavy winds. That's what they say. So according to this paper in Tanzania, it will be the strongest El Nino since 1950. Gazeti la Mwananchi tukisalia kule Bongo, Samia ataka sekta binafsi iwe bunifu, asisitiza serikali kuendelea kuboresha sheria na sera kuvutiwa zaidi uwekezaji. TPSF yataka mifumo imara, sekta binafsi iwe kipaumbele. Ni mashauri tu na maongeo kuhusu safari ya dira ya 2050 mwaka 2050 kule Tanzania. Dira ya Kenya ni ya mwaka 2060. Dira ndio vision. Every day you learn a new word. Right, Chadema yaja na masharti ya maridhiano, chama cha upinzani kule Tanzania, pia kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa gazeti hili. Those are the dailies, local and regional. Let's come back and take a look at the cartoons this